Hi, Fernandinho. How are you?
Hello, Wagner. Nice to hear you. Nice to see you. How are you, Wagner?
I'm fine. I've got a COVID.
You're serious. I hope you get better, my friend.
Yeah, I'm staying home.
My God, I got that 3 times already, and it's a bummer.
Uh-huh.
But just take it easy. You'll be okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure.
Okay.
My picture seems to be strange. Can you?
Let me see, Wagner. I don't know. I really don't know about the picture things. Okay, this is nice.
Okay, so hello everyone. We are very happy to welcome you to 2023 and wishing you all the best in 2023. And this is our first webinar in the new year, and we are very happy to welcome all of you. So today is January 12th, and for the first time, we are hosting, one of the devoted teachers from Brazil. And today our guest speaker is Fernando Aquize, and he's joining us from Brazil. So Fernando will talk about developing and improving video and reading activities using National Geographic Learning Footprint Reading Library, which is going to be very exciting. And today he is going to share really useful tips and techniques that the teachers can enhance their teaching tools, and also just will be able to to ask questions to our guest speaker, and of course just receive some more links for making our teaching really effective and interesting. So let me introduce Fernando to all of you. Fernando Aquize has been working as an English instructor for the past 40 years. Currently, he is working in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, where he teaches general English and English for specific purposes. And in 2022, Fernando participated in the EVB online intensive course with Lisa Mann and contributed to the first English without Borders idea book. And during the National Conference and English Language Expo in 2022, he was awarded as one of the most active English without Borders the webinar participants. We are very happy to host you today, Fernando, and with great pleasure, I'm giving the floor over to you. Thank you so much.
Nasiba, thank you. I'm honored to be able to take part in this webinar. Hello, everyone. I hope you're fine, having a good time. And let's begin. Before we begin, I would like to tell you two things. First, I want you to participate as much as possible, okay? I know that it's a little bit difficult sometimes to participate when we have online events, because there's a lot of people in the room, and there's a lot of people, some people who are attending through Facebook might not be able to participate, but we have the chat. So please use the chat. That's one way you can participate if you are on Facebook. And if you're using Zoom, you can use the chat, and you can also participate giving your opinions. Okay. I want this webinar to be like how can I say this? What's the word for this? Auto interactive. What does this mean? I'm going to ask you for some questions. Oh, by all means, I'm not trying to teach anything to anybody, okay? And I'm not trying to test anything also. I'm just going to ask you some questions, which I want you to think about, right? You're going to give like an auto interactive process. And then if you feel comfortable, you can give me some ideas about the answers to these questions, and then I can give you my opinion. And that's how it's going to go on. We're going to have some activities also, which are going to help us think about some basic principles of elaborating activities. I'm sure that everything I'm going to say, you guys already know. There might be one or two new things, but I hope we have fun. Okay?
Okay.
So it's developing and improving video and reading activities using NGL footprint reading library. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what should you take into consideration? What should we take into consideration when elaborating an activity? Think about this for a couple of seconds, 2 or 3 seconds. Share your ideas in the chat box also, please, in relation to this. What are some ideas? What do you guys think we should do? We should take into consideration when elaborating an activity. Could I have some ideas? Would you like to participate? Okay, I believe we should take these elements into consideration. Age. Is the activity appropriate for the student? If we're talking about videos, for example, if the video is too childish, then don't use it with an adult, right? This is really important. You should have objectives. What objective do you have when using this activity? What is it for? Is it just to get general ideas? Is it to get specific ideas? Is it to practice a grammatical structure? It's important to have an objective. It's just taking a video to class to show it. I don't think it's something which we should take into consideration. Load. This is really important, right? Is the grammatical load too challenging or not challenging enough for the student, right? It should be appropriate. If it's too challenging, it might stress the student. You won't get the results you want. And if it's too easy, it'll be boring and students won't get engaged. So you have to find an appropriate load for the activities you're using. Cultural background, this is also important, right? Is the video you're going to use appropriate for your audience? And can you exploit any cultural aspects of the culture or the language that you're teaching, or of the culture of the student, right? I mean, can you take advantage and exploit this to promote an interactive class? Personalize it. When you're preparing an activity, always personalize your activities. This makes it more realistic for the students, more meaningful, and they get better engaged. That's it. Is it meaningful? Is it interesting, right? This is something important because sometimes what's interesting for me might not be interesting for you. So when elaborating an activity, try to find out what your students' interests are. Ask them. If it's meaningful, will they be able to use what you are preparing? And if they can, it's much better, right? The instructions and the management of your activity. This is something we sometimes take for granted, but it's important that you have clear instructions in your activity. And it's important that sometimes you have some notes about how you should manage the activity, if it's for groups, if it's for pair students, if it's in small groups, because we never know. Sometimes we get sick, right? And then somebody else has to give our class, and they need to have the appropriate instructions, right? I mean, if we know what the procedures are, but if we want our activity to be used by a colleague, it's important that you make sure that he knows, or he'll be able to carry out your activity. Interactivity. I believe that a good activity needs to be interactive. It needs to make the student think and use critical thinking skills if possible. Does anybody have any other idea? Is there anything that you think I'm missing? Could you please let me know? Hello? Any ideas? Would you like to participate? Yes?
So Fernando, if you just see below the chat box, you will be able to see the responses of participants.
I can't see the chat box.
Okay. So
where is it?
It's down. It's down. Can you see there is an icon as a message
Okay.
icon?
No, I can't see it. I don't have it.
Okay.
Magari ce l'hai con Rai, sapete dai o
So
I can't see the
yeah,
chat.
if you want, I can read them. I can read them. You know what the participants have written.
Okay, I found it. Sorry.
Good,
Okay.
good. Okay.
Okay. So is there anything you would like to add to what I said? I mean, do you have any more ideas, or do you agree, disagree? I would really like you to participate. You know, when I take part in these webinars, sometimes I over participate because I'm always adding things in the chat and adding opinions, and I would really like you to participate. For those of you who are attending via Zoom, the audio is open. Okay, so you can participate freely. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna continue then with the slides and some of the activities I have here for you guys. Now, let's go to. Okay, this is something say that I found, which I thought was interesting. A picture's worth 1,000 words. A video's worth of 30,000 pictures, but an experience is worth much more. I think this is really nice because it englobes basically some principles, are probably one of the most important ones, which is personalizing information. We need to try to personalize our activities as much as possible because that makes them really, really, really valuable for the students. It connects them to their past and it helps them produce, right? So, and when they do that, they remember whatever you're teaching for a longer time. And videos are really, really cool because they provide different types of input, right? The audio input, the visual input, the cultural input, things that you cannot get from a simple picture or another type of resource. This is why I really like videos. They're my favorite. Okay, what are some advantages of using a video in the classroom? So what are some advantages of using a video in the classroom? Hello?
Yeah.
What can you
Fernando, could you please share your presentation with us? So we don't see it. That yeah.
Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. I'm
It's okay.
sorry. This is technology issues. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Can you see it?
Okay.
So what are some advantages of using a video in the classroom? I think I'm going to use this because what are some advantages?
Yeah, you add more to the class. It's not just words. You can add interest. You see, you can talk about it. It can stimulate the students. It's less boring than just listening to the teacher. It's very interesting.
Okay, yeah. As you said, these are some really, really, really good reasons for using a video. Anybody else has any other ideas?
Fernando, may I try?
Hello, yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, well, as far as videos are concerned, I believe videos add content to our class. They grab attention of the learner and they are able to understand. Visual learning is the most powerful form of learning. They are able to grasp the concept in a visual manner. They are able to see the things and they are able to comprehend it in a very precise manner. And it's going to be there in their memory for a longer period of time. They are not going to forget it.
Perfect.
Whereas if you just show them the scripts or the text, they tend to forget. But if you show them the video, they are going to remember it for a longer period of time. This is what I believe. I mean,
yeah,
this is my take
right?
on it, actually.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Can I add?
Sure, please do so.
Yeah.
Sure.
So about the benefits, there are quite a lot of benefits that come from the using videos during any classroom and learning sessions. But it's a good idea to do this. What benefits can you obtain here? So, for example, videos are easier to be accepted by students, and they immerse students in the production Of course, it stimulates, as someone said, and the video brings more information, engage learners, and integrate the outside world into classroom, I think, and more than words can tell. So they are more flexible and easier to understand and creates more experience, I suppose. So obtain better, more immersive and meaningful.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
So
it.
these
Yeah.
are all valid factors. Yeah, as these are the reasons that I mean, besides the ones we saw before, right? I think these are also really important. They engage students in a really active way. They provide more input because you have the visual, the audio, you're using an authentic context, and it exposes culture and language, right? You can get a lot of cultural insights through videos, and you can use that to export language as well. Yeah, exactly that. Okay. Now, what are some things we need to take into consideration when elaborating a video? What do you guys think about this?
Well, you have to do something with it, right?
Yeah,
You're,
that's
you're
crucial,
not,
right? Because
yeah, you're not just gonna show the video. You're gonna do something with it. Either get them to answer questions about it or notice things.
exactly, right? You have to have an objective. I don't believe in this idea of just showing a video for the sake of showing. You know,
Yeah.
I think this is fooling the student. They can watch their videos at home. They can watch a film at home. You know, so
Yeah.
there
Is
should be
it
always.
is it interesting? Is it at their level of comprehension, right?
Yes, this is really important. So the length, when you're talking about a video activity for the classroom, length is crucial. You have to prepare an activity which you will be able to play at least twice. Okay, that's my opinion. And that means the video should be 3 minutes for maximum. Okay,
Mhm.
the accent is really important. Sometimes we there are some accents are next to impossible to understand. Irish English, Australian English is complicated. English spoken in India, very complicated. You know, jive. So this is important, right? You have to be aware of this. Sometimes we can't make it too challenging. The topic, it has to be something interesting. If it's not interesting, then even with all the images and all the sound and everything, it will not grasp their attention. It has to be interesting, and the time period. That's something really important, because when you're using videos, if you're using a video from or a documentary from 1945, 1960s, the time period is gonna influence a lot in the activity. You're gonna have to prepare something to get students tuned in with that time period to understand what the video what is about. And sometimes we take this for granted. It's important. Now, what about using subtitles? This is something that's really polemic, and I'm curious. I would like to know what's your opinion when we talk about showing a video or a documentary or a movie. What do you guys think about using subtitles? What's your opinion? Should we use them? Are they good? I want ideas, please. Please participate.
May I try, Fernando?
Sure, go ahead. There's no right or right answer here. This is just it's just brainstorming and talking, having a chat. And I'm gonna give you afterwards a tip in relation to this. I hope it can help people, and a story about me with this. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, as far as subtitles are concerned, I think they are adding to the learning. Whatever we are learning, it is adding to our knowledge, because there are times when we know the pronunciation of a particular word, but when we see the subtitles, if we even learn the spelling. So I think they are advantageous. We get an advantage. We learn the spellings, and there are times when we get to know the various words. I mean, the synonyms, and at times
Okay.
antonyms also. So it
Okay.
enhances the vocabulary. Either way, we are in a win-win situation.
Okay,
Plus, we
Shami, you
also,
raised your hand.
huh?
Sorry,
Huh.
go ahead, go ahead.
Plus, I think other than adding to the vocabulary, we also learn the way a particular sentence is spoken, the framing
Okay,
of the sentence or the phrase. Because different
okay,
nations, they have their different styles of, to express themselves. They have a different genre or expressions. So I think it definitely adds to our learning. And if we can
okay,
learn, then students can definitely learn.
okay. Thank you. What do you think, Shami? I see you rose your hand.
Yeah, hi Fernando. Hi to all of you guys who are listening and watching this webinar. So I should say that first of all, it depends to the people's level of English. If they are in the beginner level, then we can use subtitles, and it is definitely good. But if they are intermediate or in advanced level, then if you are constantly using subtitles, then they are getting this habit of reading something, not to listen to that thing. And also they will just always read that thing instead of listening and watching things and understanding the things. So I think in the long run, it will be not that good if you use subtitles always.
Okay, okay. I agree with both of you. I believe that for correcting activities, sometimes we can use subtitles, but I believe that when watching movies and documentaries, the ideal is not to use them. But then we have this question. I mean, students will not understand what they're watching, so they feel more comfortable when they're watching the movie or the documentary with subtitles. True, but then this comes.
Can I say
This is what.
something, Fernando?
Sure, Wagner. Please, my
Yeah,
friend.
I think it's a matter of deciding when and not when to use subtitles. You
Mhm.
can you can use or not use them. It's depends on what you want the students to do. If you want them to listen to something very clear, something very simple, you don't need subtitles. But if you want more detailed things like specific words or numbers, things like that, you can show the subtitles. I think it's up to you.
Yeah, it's something that, as I said, it's pretty polemic and depends on your objective. Now, let me tell you what one experience that I had and what I believe in relation to this. I believe that movies, documentaries, and series are not authentic readings. Okay, they are authentic visual listening reels, and therefore the focus should be listening. Now, the thing is that, and we need to help our students get rid of the subtitles. This will make them feel more confident, and they will feel that they are having progress. Let me tell you a personal story. I remember that I have a coordinator, which those of you who are in Brazil know for sure, Adelaide, and she always told me that when you watch a video with subtitles, you are reading and you're not listening. And I agreed and I disagreed up to a certain point. And then as a teacher, I'm always trying to practice my English, right? So one of the ways I practice my English is watching films and movies with different accents, difficult accents like Irish English or like jive or English from an accent from India. And once I was watching a film called In the Name of the Father. Have you heard about this film? It's an
Yeah.
Irish film. And I remember I was watching the film, and I had been teaching English for 20 years, 25 years at that time. And I was brought up in American school, so I consider myself fluent, quote unquote. And I remember I was watching the film, and I was only understanding 80% of the film. And I was really pissed off of myself. I was really disappointed. Said, my God, what kind of teacher am I? I'm only understanding 80%. So I decided to turn on the subtitles. And then I was really happy. I was understanding 100%. And then after 10 minutes, I decided to switch off the subtitles because I wanted to listen. I didn't want to read. I wanted to listen. You know what happened when I switched off the subtitles? Guess what happened?
You understood
I
it all.
did.
I understood 60%.
Yeah,
It
lesser
was
than.
crazy. It was crazy. I went totally bananas. I said, my God, what is happening? And that day, I remembered what the coordinator said. When you're watching a film with subtitles, you're reading, you're not listening. So I had to reboot my mind. I had to stop completely. And after 2 or 3 hours, I went back. I turned on the TV and I started to watch the film again, understanding 80%, which was better than 60%. Because as I said, I believe that a video or documentary is to, if you want to use it in an authentic ways, to listen. But then I started to think about my students and how they have the same problem, right? Because they use the subtitles to understand more. I mean, that's what they want, right? So what's something we can do? I think that the best idea is, we want to make our students create a habit of using English in their day-to-day life, right? So one thing we should always tell them is to watch series at home. And when they watch a series are interesting because they have an interesting characteristic. Many series like Friends or Sex and the City, they're episodes that have a continuation. So students have time to get acquainted with the character, with the accent, with the setting, the story. And then what I tell them is this, okay, I would like to do this. The first 2 weeks, watch your series at home, put on the subtitles. Then on the next 2 weeks, you watch one day with subtitles, then the following day without subtitles, the following episode without subtitles. Then the next 2 weeks, one day with subtitles and 2 episodes without subtitles. And then you start little by little getting rid of them until the moment where you feel comfortable enough to just say, okay, no more subtitles. Believe it or not, my students who have done this, they were really, really happy because after like 3 months, 2 or 3 months, they were most of them, I would say 90% of my students would say, Fernando, I feel really happy because I'm being able to watch the series without subtitles, And this is something nice. It makes them feel confident and they're doing something authentic. I mean, do you watch films in your language with subtitles?
No.
No, right? So this is something to think about, right? And this is something we have to work on. It's interesting, but there are some uses for sure, right? I mean, there are some ways we can use subtitles. Okay. Now let's talk about NGL footprint reading library. Okay, I've heard this a lot. Many people say that National Geographic material is only about animals. I'm sure you've heard about this too. And I've heard this even from people who know a lot about a lot, and they tell me, okay, NGL, I don't like to use NGL too much because it only has animals. This is not true. National Geographic material has all kinds of topics which you can exploit in your classroom, such as endangered species. Okay, the animals, right? We begin with the animals. These are 2 of the other videos you have available from Footprint Reading Library.
Children love videos about animals.
Yes, but these videos, I don't know if they're that helpful for children. I mean, the level to use these are like for, I would say, low intermediate to intermediate. Okay, and if the child that has a level, he'll love them for sure. But yeah, I agree 100%. Right? I love animals. I've always loved them. Another topic: festivals, culture. In this case, we have something about Brazil, capoeira, the fighting dance. The very cultures of China. Environment. There's a lot about the environment in these series. You can really exploit this nowadays that we're talking about global warming and things like this and sustainability. There's a lot of material in these series which you can use. Sports and adventure. Science. There's not that much about science, not in this series, but you still find things about science. There's a lot about history, okay, a lot. In this case, you can find things about your own countries, a lot. I mean, it's really interesting. Cities and neighborhoods. So it's not just animals, as you can see, right? It's not just endangered species. Art. Oh, this is one from Afghanistan. Those of you who are from Afghanistan. Oh, I forgot to ask you guys. Please chat now as we're doing these activities, as I'm showing as I'm carrying out the webinar. Please type where you're from in the chat box, okay? I would like to know what country you're from. Chinese artists in Harlem. Okay, what I'm going to do today, okay, it's Ecuador, there we go. What I'm going to do today is use this little book, The Story of the Hula. And our next 15, 20 minutes are going to be basically, 20 minutes are going to be talking about some activities that we can use, some ideas that I have that we can use with these little books, with these easy readers, okay? I hope you enjoy this, okay? So let's see. Okay, the first is this warm-up. Can you guys see it? Is there anything in front of the screen? Because I have a lot of things in front of it. Is it okay with you guys?
Yes,
Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a warm-up, okay? I would like your opinion about this warm-up. What do you think about this activity? I think it's a fantastic activity. Did you guys agree? What do you think?
Hi, Fernando.
Please, be sincere. Tell me, what do you think about this activity? I think it's a fantastic activity.
For sure. Dancing relieves you from stress, and it's soothing, and it's fun to move a little bit and to distress from life.
Okay, but let's think about the activity itself. Okay, not about the topic, it's the activity itself. As a warm-up, would you guys say that this is a well elaborated activity?
It's too simple, maybe.
Okay.
Like just questions and answers.
Okay, it's just the questions are yes/no questions, right? So this is something we got to change, right? I think we could make it a little bit more interesting for them. So we can try to make this like information questions. That's one thing. What else do you think we could change?
So from this warm-up, students can understand what are we going to talk about?
Yes.
What are we going to cover?
That's the idea, right? But as we said, the questions are too simple. I agree. What else can we change to make this better? So we can use yes/no questions. No, sorry, information questions. What else can we do?
WH questions, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Besides that, what else? I think we have too many questions.
Maybe showing a video about different kinds of traditional dances.
Or
Okay.
even we can share the pictures with the dancers
Or pictures.
and ask them if they know the types of the dance.
Okay, you can use pictures as a warm-up. But so focusing on this activity, I think I have too many questions. Okay. And as we said before, they're all yes/no questions. There's no personalizing education here, that there's no personalizing at all. And if I talk about the elaboration of the activity, it's kind of messy, right? I don't know. For correction purpose, it might be a headache.
Can I say something, Fernando?
Sure, Wagner, please.
Yeah, since the video is going to be about a typical dance from a particular place, like the hula from Hawaii, maybe you don't need to talk about dancing in general, but about dances that are part of a culture directly.
Okay.
Go to the point, you know?
Perfect. So this is the activity that I think is fantastic, but this one I think is wonderful. It's the same thing. It's the same warm-up. I added the time of the video because I believe that the teachers must know, you must add the time to the video to be sure that whoever's going to use it knows how long it is, and we'll be able to play it twice. Just 3 questions. I changed these questions to information questions, and what Wagner said is basic question number 3. What can we associate dance to culture? How? Give some examples. So what are some dances you have in your culture? What's the typical dance from Brazil? Samba. What's the typical dance from Argentina? Tango. And so on, you know? Oops, energy. Sorry, 1 minute. So this is exactly what I was, you know, I think this is better than my really good activity before. This is the one I use, by the way, okay? Then after that, vocabulary. When you're working with a video from National Geographic, it's always important to work on the vocabulary to help students, to make sure students will understand what's important. So this is the vocabulary list for this book, for the hula, right? And in the book, you have associations. Let me show you the book. I'll show you the book in a minute on screen. It'll be better. I just wrote the words on the paper and I asked them to define what's an island, what's the ocean, what's a tropical, what does tropical, or you know, define the words or associate some words and some ideas to these words. That's one thing you can do. Now let me show you what the book suggests. Let me share the screen again. I'm sharing the screen. This is what the book suggests. Can you see it? Can you guys see the book?
Yeah, it's the cover. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there we go. So this is what the book suggests. It contextualizes, there's a small text, and then these words are in the text, you read it, and then you associate the meaning. I think it's basically the same thing, but the other one's less guided, right? It's a little bit more students in center than this one. And there's another one here where you just, again, you have some sentences, and then you have to complete the sentences for what you have to. You can also have webs. You can use the activity I showed you before with webs. But it's important that you work with the vocabulary before you play the video. This is really important, okay? Now, while we're watching the video, as I said before, it's a good idea to show the video twice. There are many things you can do when showing the video. If you tell students just to watch the video without giving you any guidance, they might not get what's important, and they might get lost. And afterwards, when you ask them to talk about the film, they might not remember what they need to talk about, you know? So we can ask them to take notes under specific headings, like this, okay? We can ask them to take notes under dates, important dates. What NGL loves to do is they love to have you organize in sentences in the correct chronological order or according to the events that are happening in the video. Okay. Now, this is something interesting because this is something you can do also with, you can use this kind of activity, the one about organizing events, with students who are not that fluent, because you can use the images, you know, I mean, you write down a sentence and then the person has to just identify the image to put it in order. They'll need to really understand the video, okay? You can do it, you can play it, the video with sound off for this kind of activity, but not for this one. For this one, they have to listen to what's happening. Now, the second part, the second time you show the video, you can have questions, right? When you elaborate the questions, that you have to be careful to be sure that you don't elaborate too many questions, okay? And that the information you have to answer one question is not too close to the information of the second question, or else you're gonna have a hard time. So you have to have space, a certain space for the students to focus on the listening as they watch the video. Okay, this is really important. But this is a good, this is like something good, right? I mean, this is something normal. This is something we all do, right? You have any other ideas we can have for the viewings?
Well, I think that one interesting thing about these questions is that you involve numbers, dates, okay, opinions. That's nice. You don't focus on just one thing, right?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
And the idea also is to give students afterwards an opportunity to be able to retell the video, okay? Using these questions and using the headings, okay? So they're gonna watch once to focus on headings, then the second time to focus on the questions, and then the third phase is retelling the story, right? And they're gonna use that information to retell the story. And that's what we're gonna talk about now. Where is this thing here? Retelling the story. So how can you retell? That's a follow-up. If you're working with private students, it's really easy because he's going to retell everything to the teacher, right? To his instructor. The instructor's going to listen and take some notes and afterwards get some feedback if it's the case, or complete, or give him some little tips to help him complete his ideas. If it's in pairs, then you have headings. One student talks about one heading, the other one, then it's the other turn of the other student talks about the other heading until you finish it. If it's the questions, the same thing. One student asks a question, then the other one answers the other one, or they ask each other. One student asks his colleague the question, he answers, and then vice versa until you finish it all. And then you check as one big group. If it's in stations, then you have to work with several videos, okay? Each station has to have one video, and then you have to switch the students to different stations so that the new stations have 3 students or 4 students with different videos, and they can retell the video to the group. Because it makes no sense in retelling the same thing, even if it's to another person, you know? That would be boring, right? Wouldn't make any sense. Now, at the end of these little books, we have some readings like this one, okay? And we can do many things with these little books, these little reads. This is something really interesting. That's what we're going to talk about now. It's always important to have a warm-up, okay? Exploiting the pictures or asking some comprehension questions about the topic or vocabulary. And it's always nice to have a follow-up. In the follow-up, you can try to personalize information or culturalize information. In this case, this is an activity where I try to add culture to it, right? So what difference are there between the Carnival in Rio and Janeiro and Salvador? What advice would you give to a tourist or to a friend? Even a friend is better, who's coming to Salvador during Carnival for the first time. So I'm trying to personalize it, and I'm trying to make it meaningful, right? This is a meaningful activity.
Is the reading about Carnival?
Yes. The reading for this story for the hula is about Carnival. Exactly.
Okay.
That's the reason why I did that, right? It's called Carnival Interida. But I didn't elaborate any activity with this one, with this text, because there's another text that I found which was more interesting from another book that I adapted.
Okay.
But it is from Carnival. Now, what are some possible reading activities that we can use? Let me open my new here. So we can have jigsaw readings. When you have a jigsaw reading, it's important that you always have the beginning. Can you guys see this, or is it too small? Can you see the activity?
No.
You can't see the screen? I mean, can you see my word? No.
No, it's too
It's a little bit blurry.
Yeah. It's a little bit blurry. Let's see if I can fix that. We're not going to do the activity. I just want you to see if you can see it. That's all.
Okay, so better.
Okay, so we have a jigsaw reading. In a jigsaw reading, you have to have the beginning and the end correct in order, and then the rest it's mixed, and students just have to organize it in the correct order. Okay, in a jigsaw reading, you can divide the paragraphs or the pieces of information right beside the grammatical point. So I have, or because, I'm going to have a cause afterwards. You know, you can always try to use grammatical confirmation. In this activity, I focus basically on connectors, right? I have here because, but, while, but you have to be careful not to mix too many things or else it gets too difficult, okay? Another type of jigsaw activity is this one here, where
Is this reading based on the video?
yes, all of these videos at the end have some readings. No, they're not, it's not the lyrics of the video, okay? All of these videos, all of these little books at the end have an extra reading activity. This reading activities that come at the end, okay? And these are activities that I adapted for each of these little books. I have one activity for each of these books, not for all of them, but I would say like 60-70% of the collection. The collection has 120 books. So this is another one, another jigsaw activity. But in this case, I'm separating complete sentences. With this kind of activity, be very careful so it's not ambiguous. What I mean by this, you have to be sure that there's only one possible continuation. If there are two possible continuations, it won't work. Okay. Then we have close. I'm gonna go to substitution. Okay, substitution. This is from Machu Picchu, on National Geographic Book 1. And what did I do was this. On the text, I highlighted some words, and in pairs, students have to substitute. These are the words that are highlighted in the text: think, sight, near, strongly, as a result. And students in pairs have to use other words so that they keep the same meaning of the text, okay? Then another possible activity is close activities. We have different types of close activities. This is one of them, where you have blanks with no options. Students have to find the correct option. Another one is blanks.
It's not clear, Fernando.
Sorry, let me open this. It's because I'm moving it. Is it better now?
No. Same thing.
No? Same thing?
I think that's because of internet connection of Mr. Wagner. Because it is visible. Yeah, it is visible from our side.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is okay for me.
So we have this type of close where you can fill in the blanks with any words that students can discuss together, right? They try to do activity together. What's the word? They cooperate and they try to find possible words to fill in the blanks, okay? Then you have one like this, where you give the options. Let me open this again to see if everybody can see. You give options. Okay, in this case, I'm using verbs. You give options. Or you give a close with, for each blank, you give 3 or 4 options, which is something that you see a lot online, right? And okay, and for all of these types of activities that I showed you, how do you correct them? With the audio. The little books, these texts have audios. So you play the audio and students check their answers with the audio before comparing and discussing alternatives or possible alternatives that they might have, okay? So I always think when correcting, like, what are the basic steps of correcting? Students first compare in pairs, then if possible, they compare in small groups, and at the end, as one big group, what the teacher does is asks for the possible answers and just confirms. So there's no spoon feeding, and students are doing all the work. The teacher is just like a manager, observing and taking notes in case he might need to work with something afterwards. And then finally, we can have questions about the text, right? You can ask students to elaborate some questions using the text, and you can ask them afterwards to ask each other, or you can ask them to ask you as a teacher, okay, ask me some questions about the test. Well, or you can elaborate the questions and ask the students to answer the questions, right? I mean, I think it's more interesting if you ask them to elaborate the questions. Any questions, by the way?
Yeah, Fernando, if the video does not come with any text, if it's just the video that you are using, I think you have to prepare these activities, right?
Yes, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. The
I
the
use I
video,
use I use videos that I get from the internet. I don't
yeah,
use only NGL videos. So
of
I think
course.
sometimes we have to prepare the exercises based on
Sure.
the video itself, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I did here. All of these activities are not in the book. These activities are elaborated on the text that come with the book. Okay. Uh, and that's the fun of it, right? I mean, using your creativity and be able to create these activities. And what my idea was just to share you some of the types of activities you can create with these texts. Okay, this is basically uh, what I have to say. We still have some time, but not too much time. So I'm going to share now some links. Okay, I'm going to show you the links, and then we're going to ask each other some questions. Would you like to see? Would you like to watch the video from the hula dance? Are you curious? It takes 3 minutes.
I've seen it many times, but maybe
Okay,
other
so
people, well, maybe other people would like to see it.
okay, so let me play it really fast, so you have an idea how this material is, because I think it's amazing. It's really short. It's not long, so it's not long. This is the video for the hula dance. It's available on YouTube, by the way. Okay.
Chasing that A and want to save time on proofreading? Grammarly makes editing one click simpler.
There we go.
Hawaii is a land of legends. Legends that survive through generations in this tropical paradise. One of the most enduring of these stories tells the birth of the hula more than 300 years ago.
The hula started, as far as legend tells, when Hi'iaka and her good friend Hopoi went down the beach. Then while they were there, they noticed the waves, and they imitated the waves, and then they started to use their hands, like, portraying the waves and all. And that's how the hula started.
When Christian missionaries landed on these shores in 1820, they were shocked by the scantily clad people performing ungodly dances. So shocked that they persuaded then Queen Kekumani to ban the dance. So the hula went underground for almost 60 years. Except for a few people who managed to get official permission, it was performed in secret. These days, a resurgence of Hawaiian pride has brought new interest in elements of Hawaiian culture, like the hula. More and more people are attending hilaus, schools where the dance is taught with traditional values and discipline. Learning the dance requires dedication and hard work. Dancers spend long hours perfecting their routines. For hula master Kumanu Palani Kulala, the dance is a way to make the best of ancient Hawaiian culture relevant to a modern audience.
I try to instill in my students that the hula is more, not so much a physical thing, but more of a mental and a spiritual thing. For them, the dancing means very little because for Hawaiians today, many of them don't speak the language. So what I try to do is to bring to mind the reality that they see today.
Every spring, the Merry Monarch Festival, the premier hula competition, is held in Hilo. Dancers from all the Hawaiian Islands gather to compete. They also come to honor the legendary king, who helped return the ancient practice to its rightful place at the center of Hawaiian culture. Hula dancers are judged on interpretation, style, and the authenticity of their costumes. The way a skirt is wrapped or fastened, the color of the cloth, and flower arrangements. Many hope Hawaii's hula revival will be a major step toward preserving ancient traditions for future generations.
That's it. So this is something that's really appealing, right? I mean, I love these videos. And now I'm going to show you some really, really fast links. I'm going to share these links with you. Okay. The NGL has several links online which you can use. This is one of them. It's from Reading Explorer. And if you go to Students Resource, you go to any level, one, and all the videos are available for you. Okay. You can use them and you can download them. Okay, any of these videos you have a lot of videos here, short, they're really short, 3-minute videos. Okay, then you have this other series. I'm not going to show the ones from Research because they're really similar to the ones we saw now, but these are the ones from Look. Have you guys heard about this series, Look?
Yeah,
It's amazing. It's for children and it's a piece of art, and the videos are amazing. So you do the same thing. You go to student, you choose American English, you go to the level, the video, oops, and then you click on the video. Something happened. They're here. Students, American video. I'll share these links afterwards with you. They're available and you can use them here. This is really cool. I'll just play one really short. This is for children. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. If I were a child and I this material, I mean, I would go bananas.
I'm Pablo.
I'm Shimon. I'm Alia. I'm Caitlin. I'm Safia. I'm Indipila.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Pablo. My family is from Spain.
Say hello in your language, Pablo.
Hola.
Hello.
Hello.
And
how are you?
It continues, right? It continues, so it's multicultural. It's an amazing series. Okay, I'm going to share these links afterwards. I have some others, but I'm going to stop now because we need to have some time for questions, if you have any questions. And I think we're about time to finish. So if you have any questions, please, I'm open to questions.
Yeah, one interesting thing is that you can use short videos and longer videos, right?
Yes.
For example, the ones from the 21st century communication, they're longer videos and they're nice too.
Yeah, the ones from 21st century communication are TED Talks. Okay. And they're interesting, yes. TED Talks are, I've used this material for more advanced students. I don't think it works with beginners.
No,
okay.
no, it's not for beginners, but it's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's I used 21st century communication for a while, but I stopped because I found the videos, the activities really repetitive. So then I started using Keynoting. And Keynote is another story. It's like 21st century communication upgraded. Any questions? Sorry about it.
No, yeah, you get videos from the internet directly from YouTube. You don't need to use it.
Yeah, there are many resources. The thing is that sometimes it's difficult to find these videos, right? Or we get a little bit lost. And these guys have it all ready for us. It's just go to their site, check what's interesting. If you use the book, it's even easier. But if you don't, you have fun creating your own activity, right? Any more questions? Do you have any? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's useful for you. Okay. As I said, there's nothing new. I'm sure you all know these concepts, and it's just the idea was just to make us remember important things that we need to take into consideration when elaborating an activity, and remember how fun it is. Right, videos are a lot of fun. Students really enjoy them, and it's nice to to use them. I love them. Any questions, people? If you do, please ask me any questions you might have.
Fernando, I would like to say thanks to you because being a part of that group, off and on, you keep posting related content, and it is really helpful, especially in teaching learning process. Other than that, for conducting assessments based on reading skills, writing skills, and various other skills. So I would like to say a big thank you to you. Thank you so very much for all the help and content you keep on sharing in the group, and the links as well. Those links of the books are really helpful.
I'm really thankful to you guys. English Without Borders from Tajikistan is an amazing community, and I'm really happy to be part of it. And you can count on me with anything you guys need. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This was very interesting.
Thank you, Nicolau. Nasiba, I think I'm finished. I had some other more ideas, but I think the times. I think we had. There's no more time, right? If there were, I would share some more things. But I'm very, very happy about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I hope it just made us think a little bit about some things we can do. That's the whole idea. Okay. There's nothing new, as I said. I'm sure you all know about this.
Really nice.
Sometimes good to remember some things. Thank you, Wagner. Thank you very much. Yes, yes, Nasiba, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. So yes, we are very happy that so many teachers, got interested in using, the links you shared today. And on behalf of English Without Borders, as well as webinar participants and those who joined us on Zoom and Facebook, we are, conveying our deepest gratitude to you, dear Fernando, for your great job and for sharing your experience, as well as just, your useful tips, for teachers. And it was really great. And we look forward to hear from the teachers once they start using these links in their teaching. And of course, we will open the floor for more webinars based on this topic, because, in English Without Borders, we really value, the concept of sharing, of reflecting, learning, and exchanging, as well as just, helping each other as teachers. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Nasiba. I'm honored to be part of the group, and I'm honored for this opportunity. I'm really thankful for this. Okay.
Yeah. And of course, we will share the presentation as well as the links that Fernando generously shared today, after the webinar on our social media pages, and of course, on our website. So you can just go and download all the materials and useful links to use in your teaching practice. Thank you so much, dear all. And and if you have no more questions, let us wrap up. Wishing all of you to have a great day ahead. For those who are having evening, have a wonderful evening. And we are looking forward to see you again at our next webinar next Thursday at 6 p.m. Tajikistan time. So happy to see all of you. Yeah.
Sorry, one thing. I strongly recommend everybody to assist webinars from English Without Borders, okay? They are really high quality and they're really serious with what the work they do. One thing that I love about you guys is that you guys don't give certificates. This is wonderful, because that means that the people who participate, because it's really annoying when you go to when you assist a webinar and people are just asking, so is there a certificate? Is there certificates? People I think attend because of the certificate, not because of the content. And with you guys, it's different. You guys are one of the few groups that don't give certificates, and that is amazing. That's something that I really think is interesting. It's something different for you guys. Okay?
But this
Thank you
is
so
Thank
much.
you so much.
incredible part to meet lots of people.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had people from all over the world, Brazil, Tajikistan,
Yeah.
India. I forgot to ask where you guys were from in the beginning, but we have people from all over the world. Iran, man, from all of that's nice. I'm happy about that. Thank you, Nasiba. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
Bye, everybody.
Stay in touch and follow us on social media pages of English is for us. Thank you so
You were
much. Bye bye.
grateful.
See you.
Bye. Take care.